Kia ora, everyone. Welcome to the Stromcast Down Under. It's been a while, but I am here today with the new Mr. NZ, uh, Dean. We are going to go over a few topics today, which I thought would be interesting. I've wanted to get Dean on for a while, but I thought, we'll pass over to Dean, maybe do a little bit of introduction of who you are, and then we can get cracking into it, man.
Okay, so who am I? Basically, obviously I'm a bodybuilder, really passionate about that. Um, Other than that, kind of just your basic sort of dude, working, training. I'm into motorbikes, that sort of thing. That's what I would say. Yeah. So yeah, basically I've been bodybuilding now for coming on 16 years. So it's been a while. Um, Yeah, do you want me to delve into sort of?
Yeah, man. Like, maybe
Yeah,
we can start there. Like,
yeah,
16 years. Obviously, is a long time. I started. Geez, when did I start? Probably when I was 18, so 11 years ago.
yeah.
But what got you into it? What kind of is there anyone that introduced you to it, or was it just self-driven?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so basically, I was a chubbier sort of kid. Um, kind of just was right into my gaming and that sort of thing. At the time, my brother, he was getting into bodybuilding and he was right into that and lifting weights with his friends and that sort of thing. So he was sort of following the magazines and getting right into that. And then he wanted to open a supplement store as well. So he opened an extreme nutrition store here in Te Awamutu.
okay,
But yeah. So originally he sort of got me off the couch and kind of introduced me to it. And then I kind of just was starting off, okay, going to the gym to lose weight and that sort of thing. And then I sort of just thought, fuck, I'm gonna, give this bodybuilding thing a go. And these guys look pretty mean. So, and yeah, like I looked up to my brother too, quite hard
yeah,
out. And yeah, so that kind of just all fell into place and started cracking on with it and making changes. And yeah, and I was kind of 16 and I had a bit of a physique going and
yeah.
was enjoying training, and yeah, so it was quite cool at the time.
How old are you now?
So I'm 31 now.
31. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
yeah. I think I always go, when did I actually have the mind that I wanted to compete? Because I got into a gym at like probably your that age as well,
yeah,
16.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I did martial arts, and I was like, But then the same kind of story. It was like I saw the magazines, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
These guys look
Like,
wicked.
yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty. That's a cool story, man. So, what does your brother think now? Now that you're where you're at today?
Yeah, so he's pretty proud of kind of how far we've come. We were just kind of small town guys getting into it, just seeing how we'd go. Yeah, he did a lot of competing. Well, he did about 19 shows with WFF and NABBA.
Oh,
In
nice.
2018, he kind of wrapped that up and he's moved on to other things in his life. But yeah, he's quite proud and quite happy with how things have gone. And I learned a lot from him. So he coached me sort of for most of my shows, other than these
Yeah.
last two. So yeah, I learned a lot from him, and he was doing coaching and that sort of thing at the time, and he still does a bit now. So
Mm.
yeah, him and his
That,
partner have their coaching business, and yeah, so
that that's good, man. So in terms of obviously, like your last show was, I believe it was a NABBA WFF show,
yeah,
2018,
yeah, the Nationals, yeah,
the
yeah.
Nationals, and how did you go in that show?
So yeah, it was a little bit of a disappointment. Like I got second in my class. So yeah, that year started off really good. Like I got
Yeah.
my WFF Pro card that year. I won their Pans show, which was their hardest show that year, and I won the Pro division as well. So that was real cool. And then there was kind of a big sort of a bit of a sort of stretch to the second show, then the third show being the Nationals, and things just kind of went a little bit backwards from there. Like lost a bit of
Yeah.
tissue, and condition was still pretty good. But yeah, it wasn't really my best look for Nationals, so that didn't really finish too well that year. But it started really good.
Yeah. Are
Yeah,
you are you the type? I'm similar to you. Like the longer I kind of drag on preps, the more strung out I get? Like I just get a string. I use similar body type, or is it?
Yeah, I've kind of, because I like to do longer preps, generally over 20 weeks to kind of
Yeah,
bring things down nice and slowly, hold as much tissue as possible. But as soon as I sort of start pushing over that 23, like, I did
yeah,
23 weeks this year, you got to be real careful because, like, I tend to start losing from areas like my back and that sort of thing. And I think it's just generally fatigue, eh? And
yeah,
just, yeah, the time sort of in prep and,
yeah.
yeah,
That makes sense.
it's hard on the
So
body.
so in terms of coaching, I know personally that you coach yourself, and
Yeah,
obviously you have your partner probably with a very good second eye,
yeah.
watching you. But how did that come about? What made you the decision to start coaching yourself?
Yeah, so basically 2018 finished, and I could see that my brother was kind of moving on to other areas as well in his life. So I was thinking, oh yeah, like his focus has changed a bit. And I just thought, well, I like doing this sort of thing. I'm super passionate about it. Like, let's give it a crack. I've learned a lot. So I just
Mm.
started, yeah, basically doing my own off season from there on out. And yeah, went pretty good to start with, and the whole time it went really well. But
Yeah, oh,
yeah,
that's
just
good.
keep learning too, eh? Like you just keep sort of learning and watching and listening,
That
and yeah, and you just pick up more and more and more. So yeah,
who who would you say, like, if you're looking at now, that's a 5 year period, and people
mm.
may think, oh, it's a long off season.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I remember, I'll just share a small story with you. I was down actually at, I think it's is it Iron House Gym? Is that
mm.
the gym? Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
training there one day, and I saw you, and I think you were just wrapping up, and I was like, man, who's this guy with these massive arms? Like I was
oh,
like, and I was like,
yeah,
geez, this guy is huge. And then I think you shot out, and then I was training. This was maybe in 2020.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, that was just a fun. That was the first time I saw you. I remember seeing just these arms. I was like, geez, this guy's massive. If he steps on stage, everyone better watch out. Um, but when you look at like your coaching now, and you said obviously you watch and learn, is there anyone in particular these days that one you would recommend watching and learning from, or that you look at and try and learn from?
yeah. So I follow a lot of John Jewett, his sort of
Yeah,
stuff and methodologies. Yeah, and then just sort of general there's just other podcasts sort of that I'm following that I pick up tips and tricks from. They're not sort of super educational as far as learning lots goes, but just like yeah, it's just bodybuilding podcasts. You've got your Fuad Abiad
yeah,
podcast, and like those general sort of ones.
yeah.
And just anything else, like I jump on a bit of Ben Bukowski stuff,
Oh yeah,
um, just to kind of learn a little bit more sort of detail to certain things. And yeah, I think there's a couple others, but they're not coming to me right now. But yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So mainly John. Like I find him really informative. Eh? Yeah,
yeah.
he's got everything sort of locked down, and it's good.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible. I think you would know firsthand prepping yourself is hard, especially those
Yeah,
last few weeks um, where
yeah,
you don't make emotional decisions. And the fact that he can
mm,
get in shape like he does every time, I'm like, geez, I don't know how you function,
yeah.
but
It's
he
true.
does it.
Eh? Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Very
so
calculated.
I think we may just take it back a little bit and maybe bring in Jasmine, because that
Oh
was
yeah,
a pretty
yeah,
crazy year last year for you guys.
yeah, yeah.
How did that come about? Because I don't remember if she's ever competed before, or you may correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember her stepping on stage, and I was like, okay, that's game over for
Yeah, yeah.
everyone. So, um, did she kind of fall into competing because of you, or how did that all?
Yeah, so well, she comes from a powerlifting background, so
Yeah,
she spent a lot of years, her younger years doing powerlifting, getting really, really strong. Like she's taken out lots of different records in powerlifting, set some unofficial world records and that sort of thing. So she started off there, and then she started following the fitnessy stuff more, and then there was different looks that obviously appealed to her, and she thought, well, I've done the powerlifting thing now. She's got national titles. I'm going to start switching over and having got this sort of bodybuilding thing and progress this look that she likes.
yeah,
So it kind of started off with the figure look, and then she got more into the wellness side of things, and then she started getting right into the wellness, and then we thought, well, you look this good, like you should really do a show and we'll see how you go. So yeah, we decided we'd give the Waikatos a crack and then see how we went and then go to nationals. But yeah,
How,
yeah. So
how, how was that moment for you as a partner and looking at your partner kind of win
yeah,
in
well,
that?
that was pretty special. Like she works crazy hard. I know a lot of people say they work crazy hard, but everyone can kind of vouch for how hard she trains and everything like that and works. So it was awesome to see it come together, eh? And we were sort
Yeah,
of like I've said before on other posts and things, like we were prepping for wellness that year. So with that look in mind, like there was a few times during prep where we kind of had to hold off on condition and pull back on things, and we weren't training upper body to try and bring that down. And so yeah, like when we got to what was it? I think it was weigh-ins, and Mo took a look at her and he kind of said, "No, you don't figure." And we're like, "Well, no, we want to do wellness."
yeah.
So there was a little bit of a battle there, and then we decided, okay, we'll do figure. So yeah, we kind of jumped up there, but yeah, so
You stick that.
all in all, going back to your question, it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah,
Nah,
it's
that's cool, man. I think it's interesting when you look at like the standard in New Zealand because obviously, when you look at her, she doesn't get lost with what wins wellness overseas.
mm,
You look at the girls now; they're very hard, very lean, still got great upper bodies, and I definitely see that wellness class kind of fits her.
oh
Do you
yeah,
guys have a pro show in mind? Is that kind of the next step, or
yeah. Well, the pro show is definitely in the near future. I'd say probably 2025 will
yep,
be kind of her debut, and it'll probably be international, to be honest. But we're kind of looking. We haven't set anything in stone, but it might be a Singapore, it might be a Hawaii. We're kind of, it might be a Canada show. We're
yeah,
just kind of throwing things around at the moment, like ideas.
yeah,
Yeah, so, but I think before then we kind of need to promote her a little bit more, get her name out there a bit, and
yeah.
try and, so we're not lost amongst all those people when she kind of finally gets up there.
You guys are
So,
definitely, I think, starting to do a good job of it. And obviously we'll put a message out about your Instagram
yeah,
at the end of this. But I watch you guys your stuff religiously, and I think it's great to see, people who are quite down to earth and just quiet, stick to themselves, but just showing what the work is.
yeah,
That's a true Kiwi to me. It's
yeah,
just just show some grit and work, and
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's it.
Mm.
Um, But it was interesting you saying 2025 to me because obviously you had a long break. Is the long off season something that you just definitely plan out and you feel like maybe is undervalued in people? People maybe compete too much. What's your kind of opinion on that?
I think it's kind of individual, but like, for me personally and for her, we're very sort of, I don't know, we're kind of perfectionists in a way. Like when you hop back on stage, you want to see a good difference,
Yeah,
and some good improvements. And for where I am, sort of with myself, like I know that doesn't happen in 5 minutes. I've been doing it for a long time. With her, she's kind of the same. She wants to make like a dramatic improvement, even though I kind of think she's pretty well there. But
yeah,
yeah, she's sort of like, okay, cool. Yeah, we want to make some sort of big improvements so we can make a sort of a big impact. Um,
makes sense. Yeah,
yeah. But for other people, I mean, each to their own. Like genetically, some people might be better than others, so they can turn things around faster. And you've got your open bodybuilders like your Samsons and your Nicks, and that can grow in between shows and show
crazy.
up looking crazy different in 6 months. So it's kind of
Yeah,
individual, I think. But yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of our approach at the moment, anyway. Yeah.
it makes sense. Like if we take yourself for example, what was your first stage weight, and then what was your most recent?
Oh, so my first stage weight, I was like, fuck, I was probably 85 kilos, but I was fat.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah,
talking we're talking about 10 years ago, and like,
yeah,
yeah. So, and then the leanest I did a show the following year, and I got down to like 75 or something, and I was
yeah,
lean, but not, not shredded or anything, but getting
yeah.
there. So, yeah, and then this year the heaviest would have been in between 97 and 98.
Okay.
At Waikato's, which was quite a full look, and then Nationals last weekend was probably in that 95 range,
Yeah.
probably 95. Yeah. So a bit
So
drier, but not as full last weekend. Like I was still a little bit flatter through the delts and arms, I thought, but
yeah,
it was
it's a
very
lot of
hard.
weight though. Like when you
Yeah,
look at, I think people, get like this idea I'm going to put on 20 kilos, and it's like, yeah, you have, but it's over a 16-year period. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
So, yeah, like for myself, like some people might look at me and be like, oh, well, this guy's got super genetics or great genetics. And like, I
yeah,
don't think I've got bad genetics by any means to get this far, but it's certainly been a grind and it hasn't
yeah,
been like it's been year in, year out, trying different things, trial and error, learning. Like it's hasn't been a sort of just a straight up
yeah, true,
trajectory sort of thing.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's
yeah,
taken its time, that's for sure.
yeah.
Um,
I was more or less the same as you. I think my first show was 78 or 79, but fat, like skinny
yeah,
fat, like just like
yeah,
for full bodybuilding standards. And then
and that's fine for a first show,
yeah,
like
yeah, and
yeah,
then the same thing. Second show, I was 71, but quite very lean, but just stringy. And then I think this year I was probably going to be around 89, 90,
yeah. So it's yeah,
which
good.
is which is a long period of time. But yeah, no, that's I like to say that to people because a lot of young people think, oh, they look at people like yourself and go, oh, I'll be able to do that in a couple of years. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot of food and a lot of long work.
yeah.
Um,
You hear it all the time, eh? Yeah.
yeah.
So
Speaking of food, we'll probably get into a little bit of your nutrition
yep,
background, but
yeah,
I'm
sweet.
interested in your off seasons. How hard did you have to push that?
Yeah, so this time around, like in the past, I haven't really had to go too hard on the food. I responded all right to sort of lower calories,
Yeah,
but this sort of pushing up this heavy weight. For me, I've gone as high as probably just under 6,000 calories a day, which is pretty hectic for my stomach, to be honest.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you
It's a
know,
lot of food. Yeah,
yeah, and just trying to keep your digestion in check and not be like you feel bloated most of the time, like you can't really avoid it.
yeah.
And, yeah, that coming from basically all clean sources is pretty
It's sort
dense,
of
eh? Mm.
it's not a fun time at
Not
all.
fun, bro.
That's
Doing that
it.
year after year, it's a bit of a struggle, but yeah,
How
yeah,
long was the? Oh, actually, maybe we get into kind of your off-season approach.
yeah.
How long was that duration for you? I know for me, I kind of like doing mini cuts in between. Like I'll get to a point where I go, okay, now I'm a bit sloppy. Let's pull back and then resensitize and go back out. What's your kind of approach, and like how long were you pushing that 6,000 calories? Like what was the duration for that?
Probably it would kind of come up over sort of 16 to 18 weeks. And
Yeah,
then kind of around the 10-week mark, you're right up there with your calories.
yeah,
But generally, like there was periods where I wouldn't do mini cuts and I was still holding decent condition at the end. So I
yeah,
would kind of just back off and give the digestion a bit of a break and then come back up again when things were ready to go. But yeah, there's probably around a 16 to 18 week sort of phase.
yeah,
And then, yeah, we'll look at having a back off and stuff and get healthy and push
yeah.
again. So, yeah,
Push
yeah.
again. Yeah, and
Mm.
your back off periods, I'm going to guess probably what 6 to 8 weeks, maybe max.
Well, yeah, I like to push it out a bit longer
Okay.
generally.
Yep.
So, like a 12-week
Yep.
and just make sure everything's cool. I've done your 6 to 8s, and unless you're really on the ball with things and you look at your kind of your health markers, it's sometimes they can't be like back to
Back.
where you really want them fully.
Yep.
So yeah, I generally like to push it out just a little bit longer. Like even post prep, it's going to be a 12-week sort of recovery phase,
That's good. Yeah.
and just make
I
sure
was going to get into that. That maybe we'll save that soon.
yeah, sweet.
Um, but no, that's good, and I like you saying that because I think a lot of people feel like, oh, it's just this long trajectory of, oh, I'm going to compete in 2 years, so I've got a 36-month off season or whatever it is, 30-month off season. I'm just going to keep pushing it
Mm.
all the way through. Where, like you said, it's not linear. It's Yeah,
Push,
it's a
push
pull.
and pull, hey, push and pull. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely. Um, so if we come back to this year,
yeah,
what made you? Because obviously you had 5 years off, not 5 years off. You're training all the way
yeah,
through. You're doing
yeah,
off seasons and everything like that. But what made you make the decision that this year was the return of Dean to stage?
yeah. Well, because it had been such a long time, I'd seen quite a bit of progression and that sort of thing. The weight had come up, so I knew that there was basically a different human being under there. Um, and I just kind of thought, well, I had a lot of people asking me every year too, like, when are you going to compete? When are you going to do it? Da, 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 da. And I'd always say, when I'm ready.
Yeah,
But yeah, I kind of said to myself, like, look, we've progressed this much. Like, I'm really curious to see what it looks like now.
yeah,
And I just felt like it has to be this year. Like, if I'm going to do something, it has to be this year. I was thinking, like, how much bigger, do you want to get before you have a look? Like, yeah, so this year was kind of about just seeing what it looked like.
yeah.
Yeah, to start with, anyway. And yeah, it wasn't even really about winning to start with. It was really about just seeing what it looked like and presenting the best look.
That's a good
Yeah,
at. Was
yeah.
there a point in prep? Like I know there was a point where I saw a photo of you and I was a side chest and you were like maybe 12 weeks out. Glutes were
Oh,
sort of
yeah, yeah,
coming in, and I saw that and I was like, yeah, that's hard to beat. That's and you can tell like I've got a very objective eye and I look at it and I'm like that's very complete. Like it's hard to knock that. Was there a point in your prep where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna win, or I'm aiming to win, or where was your mind for that?
yeah. I think probably, oh, yeah, maybe around the 8 week mark, things kind of
Yeah,
changed, and I just it kind of relit the fire, the flame, getting back into prep, and I just became how I used to be, really super
yeah,
competitive. I thought, like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to win this, and that's how I'm thinking, and I'm going to bring
get
my
that.
best look at the same time. So I just rolled with it, and
Yeah,
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 yeah, that's kind of how it went. Was started off like, oh, we'll see what happens at the end, and
yeah.
I just want to bring my best, and then things, your mindset gets a bit sort of it changes
The
up. Right? Yeah, yeah,
the
and
drive comes. Yeah,
the
that,
drive and motivation kicks in, and you're away.
yeah. What
Yeah,
was your what was your partner thinking this whole time?
yeah, she was, yeah, pretty much got the same sort of mindset, and
Yeah,
supportive with it, and yeah, she just thought, yeah, you can do it, you can make it happen, so just stay
that's
locked in, and yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool. And you said like back to your preps. Did you do a? You said it was around 23 weeks. So what, 20 weeks to get to Waikato? Is that?
Yeah, it was. I think it was 21 weeks to Waikato this year.
Yeah,
So yeah, that like my previous preps, I've gone as long as 26 weeks, but that last one in 2018 obviously didn't end the best. So I was kind of thinking,
yeah,
well, if I can make it a little bit shorter and just approach things a little bit differently, then we should be fine with holding tissue and that, which was yeah the right sort
yeah.
of idea. Yeah.
How do you phase out your preps? Like, what's your approach to at the start to finish? I know some people like Matt Jansen, for example, he likes to hit the ground running pretty quickly and do a big calorie drop at the start and then kind of cruise into it. What's your approach to this?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a reduce in calories, like a decent sort of drop just to get things moving. And then obviously with the output and that sort of thing, I chuck a bit in. I don't get crazy with it because especially coming into this year, like it was more sort of fresh, like your different body, you've got more
Yeah,
small size. So you don't want to hit it too hard and too early. So it was kind of like, yeah, we'll start with a decent calorie drop, sort of well, 700-800 calories, tidy up
yeah,
the mess, anything extra you might be having, and then just add in a touch of cardio to start with.
yeah,
And then from there, it was just general progression each week, just changes. And I just kept the ball moving the whole time. I wasn't going to wait for a fortnight or wait for the results to stop completely. I saw a little bit of a decrease in fat loss and that sort of thing. Once it started slowing down, I'd make more changes. And so it was very sort of consistent, but the start was a decent sort of move. Yeah, a
yeah.
decent drop. Yeah, yeah.
That's a good approach. I obviously know you approach, a calorie deficit through cardio and nutrition, and I'm assuming steps as well. Is that NEAT is something that you monitor? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah. So steps.
something new for you this year, or something
Yeah,
you've
so
always?
in the past it would just be cardio. I just
Yeah,
monitor that. And steps, I had an idea of what I was doing, but I wasn't really factoring that in. But this year it was steps. It was every sort of output, and I was managing that. Like if I was making an increase in cardio, I'd look, well, do I need to do that, or do I just push steps up a couple thousand each day, and we
yeah,
go with that for a change this week. So yeah, it was all managed. Yeah, every
yeah.
form of.
How did you find fatigue doing that approach?
Yeah, I found it pretty good. There was a point in prep where I did put the brakes on the condition, because I was like, look, I can push more and I can do more output and I can get sharper, but I feel like it's going to be a detriment to my physique now. I could see that my quads were starting to come down a little bit from the output, so I thought, well, I want to keep this size. I want to come in as big as I can this year. I
Yeah,
just wanted to see all that muscle on stage, so.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There was that point, so I was like, well, yeah. Now the output's getting quite high, the cardio's getting up the steps, that sort of thing.
yeah.
You can see, yeah, that if we go any further right now, there's going to be a little bit of a regression there. But
That makes
yeah, so
sense.
that was kind of the point. Yeah.
Did you find it easier this year to get in shape over previous years, or was it harder because it's, like you said, a new body to you?
No, no, it moved quite well actually. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like previous years, I've had to do more cardio, and when I've looked at my steps, they've been ridiculous, like 20,000 plus a day, plus 2 hours cardio. Like
yeah,
so yeah, you're looking at maybe, yeah, two-thirds of that or half, just over half of that this time around. So
yeah, yeah,
that was a relief. It was a big relief because after the previous season, I was thinking far out, like getting into prep again is going to be hard out, man. Like I'm gonna have to do so much work to get in shape.
yeah.
So it was quite nice to see it moving the way it did and coming down without having to really like actually kill myself.
It,
And yeah,
yeah.
so, and I
It's
think,
interesting you say that. It's interesting because I feel we're similar height and build, and
mm,
been training, so and I'm very much the same. Where even this year, like obviously I pulled out, got quite sick towards the end, but it was the same where it was like the least amount of cardio I've ever done,
yeah,
least amount of steps, and then it just seemed to work. And
it's way more
although it
enjoyable.
was hard,
Yeah,
it's still hard, but it wasn't
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
I'm doing 2 hours on the stairs.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're just dying. Eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if you're the same, but I've always felt like, you know, from if you have that mindset of just like using cardio as just a tool, it can take away so much from your gym performance and how hard you're pushing in there. And I know for myself, like in previous preps, when I reflect, I'm like, I was pushing cardio hard, but fat loss wasn't happening because I was sitting down all day, tired, exhausted, not doing anything. Um, did you feel the same with your previous preps? Like you've kind of dug yourself in a hole, and it's like I can't do anything.
I was so focused and I would just hurt and I would just keep going, to be honest. Yeah. And like, yeah, the training sessions were ridiculously hard, but I was just literally take one set at a time and then
Yeah,
focus on the next set. And it was kind of just rolling like that. And I think having less muscle, it was easier to hold on to it as well. Like we're
yeah,
talking sort of 12 kilos less muscle. Once you start gaining a lot more size, your body doesn't really want it. Like
no,
it's fighting to hold on. You're fighting to hold on to it more. So
yeah,
it was definitely easier to hold the size like I thought in the past. Like, oh, well, my legs are holding on. I could do all this cardio and all these stairs, and they'd get a bit inflamed and that sort of thing, but I'd generally hold all the tissue. But this time around, just rolling two 60-minute cardio sessions for one day and then doing steps on top of that, I just saw them go woof, like just
yeah,
start flattening
go,
out. And I'm like, whoa, okay, all right.
yeah,
Yeah, so that was a bit of a sign there. But yeah, I just used to just dig deep, and like I wasn't getting a huge response in the past either. Like I felt way harder. I felt it was way harder to lose the fat. So it was just an absolute battle. And you'd start
yeah,
show up on stage and like, yeah, I was conditioned and I was quite good condition and that sort of thing. But obviously I thought I could still be leaner. And
Yeah.
then when you kind of look at what guys are doing to get absolutely peeled out, and then you compare it to what you're doing, and you're doing three times more, well, it kind of looks like that, and it's like, well,
Why?
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
why? Like, oh, this is a bit of a mind sort of, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
harder than mine. But what do I have to do to get to that level? And then it's like, but there's lots of
Sometimes
factors
it's
that
just
go
time.
into it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And there's lots of factors that can go into why you're losing fat and how fast you're losing it, and it's not all just cardio and output, and you need to do
No.
more. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There was other things that yeah we could have maybe
Yeah.
changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I remember 'cause I helped Georgia, who won women's physique this year, and kind of picked up her around 4 or 5 weeks out. And her output was quite high, and obviously she's had that broken femur, and it was very hard to manage like pain management and this. But we reduced a lot of everything and just dropping that fatigue and all of that. Her body just started shifting and like flushing and moving. So sometimes it's just pulling
that can
back and going, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Um, when you look at this year, like how does it now feel going? Obviously, you won Waikato. What was your mind after you won Waikato and you go, okay, 3 weeks left, nationals now? How did you feel after Waikato?
Good, like re-motivated, eh? Because you're coming into those last weeks before a show, and as you're saying earlier, like your mind's going crazy and that sort of thing. And it's been 20 weeks, and it's like, whew, it's starting to take its toll. So having that win just gave you that little bit of an extra push. And like I just wanted to just try and come in a little bit sharper, a bit dry, and that sort of thing for nationals. So
Yeah,
getting that win and then having a chat to a few people just kind of just bumped me up again and helped with that little push. Yeah, so and
stuff.
yeah, that was a good win for me. Just yeah, just where it was and that sort of thing. Like
Yeah,
my family, my dad's from Patara and that sort of thing originally when he was born, and so he got to come and witness that, and it's kind of
nice.
a bit of nostalgia there for him and his old town sort of theatre
Yeah,
there, and yeah, so it was quite cool. But yeah, yeah, so no, give me a bit of a boost, eh? Yeah.
and then we fast forward 3 weeks and you're at nationals. Obviously, I'm sitting in the audience and I've been in these shows and I remember doing pro am back in 2019, I think it was, and it dragged out till I think I got on stage at 11:30 at night. Um, Maybe we'll talk through that process at the moment, like managing uh, food and what you had to do throughout the day to kind of bring your best look. Because I know, when you hold a lot of muscle and you're an open bodybuilder, it's harder to kind of maintain that look throughout the day. How was that approach for you? Was there any kind of issues throughout the day, or were you kind of all right throughout the whole thing?
Pretty steady. Like I was already full going into Saturday, so
Yeah,
that was good. So really, it was just keeping things topped up
yeah,
and just really manipulating sort of a little bit of water and sodium and that sort of thing just to help stay dry. But yeah, it was pretty solid. We were kind of just checking over things every couple of hours, checking the look. Cool. If I'd flattened out here, like I noticed I dropped off on my legs a little bit, so I'd chuck in some more food, a bit of fluid and sodium, and just rest as well and try and keep the mind calm, eh? Because you can be sitting back there for hours and you're looking at everyone, you're sort of thinking, oh, okay, cool, like this person's doing that, they look like this. Like you've just got to chill and
yeah,
just take your mind off it a bit and just be like, okay, cool, I'll be up there when I'm up there, basically,
yeah,
and I just need to do my thing and focus on me. So yeah, it was just a matter of just keeping things topped up at that point, watching your digestion because I thought, like I didn't want my waist sticking out too much. Like I haven't got a big waist, but I've got to still think about it.
yeah.
So yeah, just taking in foods too that are going to digest well throughout the day and just making sure the amounts aren't too high. So
What
yeah.
what were your preferred food choices, even just on that day in general?
Oh, basically just like so muffin splits went down
Oh
really
yeah,
well for prep. Yeah, the cheese muffin splits were quite good. Or just
nice. Yeah,
things, just rice options, really, rice cakes.
yeah,
Rice cakes were probably the staple, to be honest, because I knew how well they sat.
yeah,
And like it's quite a generic sort of food you see a lot of people eating, but that's whatever works really, eh? Like it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's was basically your rice cakes, rice and just muffin splits. Just kept it
Yeah,
very sort of simple way.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I think we've all been there seeing people eat like burgers and the crazy like jamming in honey or
yeah.
jam and all this crazy stuff before they hop on stage, and I'm like, yeah, it's not going to do do anything. But
No, no, no.
yeah,
Trying for that little boost day right before you go out, and sometimes it can be, the worst thing you can do. Like,
yeah,
well, I guess, I've in the past I've done that sort of thing, like had a burger the night before, and then, you wake up and you're holding more fluid, your waist is a little bit fuller, and it's like, oh.
it's not moving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or you smash a couple cookies back before you go on, and then you think, shit, I shouldn't have done that. Like, yeah, but you learn, no, you live and you
I
learn, and yeah, yeah.
I
So,
always found when I would sweat would be because I did that. Like
mm,
I jammed in some like real fast sugars and tried to, you think of it now and going, I would never do that stuff before I train. Why am I doing it now? Like I kind of go, oh yeah, I normally just have cream of rice, some
yeah,
nut butter and whey before I train, and
yeah,
that's it.
exactly. It's perfectly, yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
trying for that little magic sort of hit, it's not worth it. It's the
yeah.
fail rate's just too high.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we'll get to your win soon, but I'm actually interested in your peak week process. Is there anything what I'd say is unusual compared to others that you would do? What I mean by unusual is a lot of people do water loading and then cut water and things like that. How's your approach really for that
So
peak?
in the past, I've done your water loads and depletes, and that's fine. It's worked all right. This time around, we still stuck with that, but I didn't really deplete out as much water as I sort of thought, or as I did previously. So that was
Yeah,
kind of like I was running high water, sort of 10 liters for a few days, and then just back it down to sort of like 2, 3 liters
yeah,
on the show day, and just yeah, just that. But this year around, I wanted to kind of just carb up a bit earlier. So I was hitting the carbs Wednesday. I deplete right out just to help with the super compensation, just so you're nice and sort of flat. You're going to absorb it properly. So I
yeah,
deplete right out, and then I'd start carving up on the Wednesday, Thursday, back off on the Friday, and pretty much have no carbs. So that was just a little bit of fiber, a little bit of protein on the Friday. Let the
yeah.
sort of waste come down, clear out any sort of food and that sort of thing, and just to bring that tight waist on Saturday, and then fill up again on this. Just touch things up on the Saturday. So.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. It's not a crazy approach, but it's logical.
yeah,
It's I think it's very important to be logical when you're, going into
yeah,
your peak week and that sort of thing. Like,
yeah.
yeah, cutting sodium and all that sort of thing. Like, it's just, yeah, it's a no go. It's
It doesn't.
why why
Yeah,
you need it.
yeah. For me, it doesn't make sense. I've kind of exactly what you said is my approach. Is sort of like depending on the individual. Um,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I had a couple girls this year, and we really just maintained like baseline nutrition throughout the whole week, and
mm,
that was it. And we just
yeah,
showed up and
yeah,
did a little bit of water manipulation where we just pulled back on the Friday evening a bit into like just measurements of going okay 300 mils with this meal 300 with this and then that's it.
yeah.
um, but yeah, kind of similar approach. I like hearing logical approaches because I see some crazy stuff and I'm like diuretics are involved and all these things. You're like, it's such a it's like trying to have an EpiPen and going, oh, let's hope it works. it's just
Yeah,
it's
and like it's important to try and collect as much data during the prep as well in terms of carb load, what you're going
yeah,
to load in, what the body can take, like
yeah.
the sources, that sort of thing.
Did,
So those are
did
good
you
things.
do a mock peak or anything like that? Or
Yes, I did one at 3 weeks out because I held off on that condition going any further with it. I thought, okay, cool, it's a good chance to just run a test peak.
yeah,
So basically, I just wanted to really see how much food I could take in from that flat point and what the water load deplete was going to look like.
mhm,
So yeah, I ran that, and that worked pretty well. There was a few sort of things that I changed because last minute I was like, well, I'm still not holding that fullness that I want on the Thursday night. So yeah, there was a little bit that I changed, but all in all, it was really valuable. Like just took some good info away from that. Um, yeah, so I think it's something. If you're in a position to do that, do it.
yeah.
Um, but also
Um,
like,
yeah.
yeah. yeah, and
Yeah,
same. Like it can be a bit hard if you go, okay, cool, I'm in condition now, I'm holding off, and you've still got 3 weeks to go. That
yeah,
can be a bit of yeah, that can be a bit difficult too. So you might want to
yeah.
sort of, yeah, use that method sparingly, depending on the person, I'd say, because it can be hard to just tell someone, look, we're going to hold now.
How
Um,
did you tell yourself then? Because obviously, like you prepped yourself. Was Jasmine kind of involved in a lot of your decision making, or was it purely just yourself, or how did
yeah,
you?
so like if I had doubt about something, or I was a little bit like, like, does this sound logical? I'd run it by her. So she's always there, like, and we'd be taking pictures every week and that sort of thing. So I'd be
Yeah,
looking at the pictures and just going off that, looking at the min mirror all the time. So yeah,
yeah,
every Sunday there would be a check-in and there would be changes that are obviously coming from that. But if there was doubt or I needed a second, like an eye, like, what do you think about this look? I'd run it by her. Yeah, so yeah,
it's good to have.
which was very helpful. I think yeah, if you're
Yeah,
trying to do it solely like with no one, it would be very hard to crack it. Even the best guys still reach out to their friends, and they prep
yeah,
themselves. Like I was saying, John Jewett and that sort of thing. I know he does, but
yeah,
yeah, so it's very valuable having that second eye. Yeah,
yeah. It's interesting you say that because I've worked with people. But a lot of the times, like my partner, she trains with me. She doesn't
yeah.
compete. She
Oh,
likes
yeah,
her, as she says, she likes her food too much and
fair
her
enough. Fair enough.
burgers. And
It's not for everyone. That's what I
no,
tell people.
no, and she's very good at like understanding my gym performance and going, oh yeah, these reps are slower this week, and like
That's cool.
you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
you're not as like connecting as good, and like you seem like your energy seems like she can see in me in
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then the look as well. Like we've been together for about 4 years. She knows where I should be in certain
Yeah.
parts and go, oh yeah, you're a bit soft here. You need
Yeah.
to, which is nice to have, right? Like I
Oh,
think,
it's good. Yeah, yeah, it's real
yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, super.
So we take it back to nationals, and you obviously you win your class, and then you win the overall. How did you feel in that moment?
Yeah, so like the class one, I was stoked. Yeah, I was happy with that. The overall, that was kind of the moment though, eh? Like I was standing up there and I was in the front relax and I was thinking like, right, this is it. Like this is the moment you've been thinking about on and off and it's been going around in your head. So yeah, that was a big one, when they sort of announced that and it's sort of, yeah, it just felt really good, eh? Just to crack that achievement. It
Good
was
man.
that final tick in the box. You've got all this list in prep and got all these
Yeah,
boxes you want to check, like bring your best, blah 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 blah, and then there's that one box at the end which will be the show. So it was that final tick, which was it was awesome. So
yeah.
couldn't have
And
really yeah.
I, and not to kind of move too quickly away from your moment, but I don't know if it's Jasmine's sister or your sister. Who's the other one you
Yeah, so
prepped?
that's Jasmine's sister. I didn't prep her, but
Okay, yeah,
yeah, no, she works with a coach in Australia. But
nice, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So no, that's Jasmine's sister. So she was coming back after probably, well, don't quote me, 3 or 4 years of not training and just kind of having a family and that sort of thing. And then she did a bit of a physique sort of transformation and a mini cut with her coach and that sort of thing. And then decided that she wanted to jump into the prep and because she has her own coaching business as well.
yeah.
Yeah, she just really wanted to sort of show to her clients and that sort of thing that it can be done, and especially
That's good.
after having a kid as well. So it was massive
Yeah,
achievement to her, massive achievement.
that was
Mm.
crazy to me. Like when she brought up the kid and
Yeah,
or her kid and
yeah.
almost took a stage dive as well. That was, that was
Okay. Yeah,
a
I
bit
missed
of,
that.
bit of a,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, a bit of a moment. But like if you look at it now and you go, okay, you've got three IFBB pros in your family. How does that
yeah.
make you feel?
Yeah, good, good. I mean, there's lots of sort of I don't know family trips and stuff we can go on. I guess
Yeah,
it opens that up. So yeah, I think in the future it'll be kind of the three of us going to pick
that's
a
cool, man.
show, and you've got three different divisions there, and yeah, my brother as well because that's his partner. He'll be coming along for the ride, which is awesome. So yeah,
Oh, nice, man.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So no, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So, what? what's next now? You've won this. You've had your moment. Actually, maybe has the moment sunk into you yet? Like, are you sitting today and going, "Yeah, I'm a
I think
pro." Like,
it's on and off. Like it's on and off because you get it and you think awesome and you feel good, and then you kind of just carry on. And then
yeah,
I sat down and I thought, fuck, like look at what you've done, look at where you are, and look at the opportunities sort of in the future
mm,
if you can move forward. And I was like, well, it's pretty sort of it's a pretty big thing. Like where you're at, you're only one show away from the big one. Like when you look at it like that, it's like,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
wow, okay,
Is
yeah,
is
yeah.
there a
So
class that you're aiming for? Like, are you aiming for open or are you aiming for 2-2? Like, what's your
it's a little bit up in the air, but I'd
yeah,
say, like I feel I can still grow into the 212. I can still put on more weight and pull down into that class a bit sharper. But there also is the fact that it's not too far away from being an open competitor as well.
yeah?
Like if you look at where I was at Waikato's, like a good sort of couple off seasons, maybe, we might be able to sit around just over 100 kilos on stage.
Which is
Um, it's
now
too
kind of proven what wins as well. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah. Well,
yeah,
it's just over 220, so that's what these guys are coming in at with, obviously we have to have decent lines and that sort of thing, and the look matters. So, but
yeah.
yeah, I'd say probably just stick in the 212 for now, at least.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think like from an outsider's perspective, when I looked at you winning, I was like, that's someone that deserves the pro card and being Mr. New Zealand. Like, it's obvious that you just for me it's like, okay, can he step into a pro show tomorrow? Yeah, he could, and he wouldn't get lost.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
a kind of proves the point of taking this long time off and just working at it. And what you said, what in a 5 year period you put on 12 kilos or so
yeah,
of
whatever.
tissue, and
Yeah.
yeah, that no, that's good, man. Um, maybe we'll get into your coaching and then we'll kind of wrap up from there. But is coaching that something new for you? Is it something that you kind of just started with Jasmine,
Oh,
or is it?
I've been low key with it for a few years now. Like I've had a few different clients come on. I've done lots of different training programs and just one-off diets and stuff for people as well. But yeah, I just wanted to really branch out and kind of make it a thing now, make it official, open it up to more people, and yeah, hopefully
Yeah,
try and take it on as a full-time thing as well in the future. So
that's
yeah,
good,
and,
man.
and
Yeah,
Jasmine's been helping people out along, for a couple of years now with different clients and girls and
yeah,
stuff like that. So yeah, it's something kind of that we both sort of thought, yeah, we enjoy it, passionate about it. We're always learning, always trying to progress. So
yeah,
yeah, let's kind of open it up and see how
yeah.
we go, and yeah, hopefully something, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people will come knocking your way soon, um, especially with what like the results you guys bring. And it's good as well that you both, you've got a female and a male, right? So it's
Mhm.
you can
Yeah,
cater towards both.
yeah, it makes it a little bit sort of different, eh? It's a different, yeah, spin on it.
Yeah,
A lot of people, it's just the one person, so
yeah. You
we cover kind of everything then. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you remind me of Kuba and Meg
Oh,
from
yeah, 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 yeah. No,
the
I
UK.
follow them too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're,
yeah.
they're, they're the same. No, that's
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
man. So maybe I'll pass over to you, man. Any kind of messages from your point, anything else that you want to cover, or anything in general, really?
Like I'll just say one thing. Like this year coming into the IFBB, I've noticed like just a massive sort of amount of support from everyone. So yeah, I just want to say thanks to everyone for that. It's been pretty awesome, really. I haven't had anything like that before, even in past federations. So it's been quite
Yeah,
cool. It's been
yeah,
like a more of like a family, I guess. Everyone's welcoming and everyone's quite down to earth, which is cool. You kind of when you're removed from it, you hear a few stories and all this and that, but
yeah. The
no, it's
things
not
have
always
changed.
true. It's not always
No,
true, and things change. And yeah,
yeah,
so just yeah, massive thanks to everyone for the support. Obviously, if you want to come and follow us on Instagram, the name's DJL_pro coaching. So if you want to hit us up on there or just have a follow and have a look at what we're up to, that's cool. Yeah, massive thanks to my partner, of course, for the support over the season. which is it's been massive, second to none. So, and
Awesome,
then the
man.
family as well, and then the family, just for all their support. So,
Awesome. Well, look, from
about it.
me and the team at Strong NZ, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's a huge win, and like I said to you throughout this whole prep, good luck, and I knew you were gonna smash it, and you're spot on. New Zealand is interesting, but I think it's changed a lot where people now just support each other, and we just want people to do well. Like end of the
Yeah,
day,
well, that's
it's
good to see. Like it shouldn't be, real sort of anti and wanting other people to do bad. Like what? Why? It's
yeah,
yeah. So no, it's
yeah.
been good. It's been really good. Mm,
Well, good
cool.
stuff, man. Well, look, I'll stop recording now, and then we can have a quick debrief, and then I'll let
Yeah,
you be
cool,
away,
cool.
man.
All right.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. No, it was